What's on, where, and when. It's the Talk of Nelson. NBS Talk Nelson.
At NBS, we believe in banking for life. For over 160 years, we've been a trusted banking provider for generations of locals like you. We know our clients personally and build long-term relationships with them, offering flexibility by giving our staff freedom to make quick decisions to put them first. Experience banking for life with NBS.
Welcome to Bay's Joinery Football Focus, your prime source for all things football in the top of the south. I'm Chris Butler, and back with me, finally, Ryan Skippy Stewart. Welcome back, mate.
Yeah, mate, good to be back. It's been a while, so yeah, good to be back.
I felt a little bit abandoned. Yourself, Les Edwards from the rugby, he left, and but we've got the team back on board, and thanks to Neil for standing in.
Yeah, he does enjoy it.
Very Scottish elk, though. It had this definite Scottish bias.
Yeah.
George Campbell was in.
Yeah.
We couldn't quite get Steve Clark. We learned about whiskey trails in the north of Scotland.
Yeah, George would know where they are.
He did, and we learned about Tahuna Park in Dunedin, and it's like back home, apparently.
Yeah, it's on the coast. I played there once, first year of Coastal Spirit. We played down there against Dunedin Tech. And it was a winter's day, and it was coming in sideways.
Rain and hail,
yeah, it
perfect
was
for George Campbell.
Yeah,
and yeah, we went right through the Euros.
that would have been short for them. Sorry,
I wasn't
Neil.
going to make any comment.
Sorry, George.
But anyway, good insight, and of course, he had to steer the ship while you were away.
Yeah, it's good to be back. You've done a great job, and
Yeah.
thanks to the staff like Andy Gallagher, the goalkeeping coach, who mucked in, Dave Turner. And Jamie as well, who helped while I was away. So,
Wow,
brilliant
fantastic
support now.
So you're away coaching the Samoan side at the Oceania Cup. So tell us about that experience.
Yeah.
Obviously, results-wise, probably not the way you wanted to go, but how was the experience?
Yeah, so for people who don't understand the Oceania setup, there's like 14 teams in it, with there being a really divide between the top sort of 6, 7 and the rest. So the Nations Cup, if you qualify for it, it's an opportunity to play those top teams. So it's really good experience. We knew before we went it was going to be tough. But again, we went to Auckland for a 10-day training camp with the squad, trying to get as much work we could get done before going to Fiji, and played a couple of friendly games against Auckland United and Auckland City. We lost to Auckland City and we beat Auckland United. So there was some real good positives out of that. And then, we went to Fiji, and we went into the games. We had Tahiti first, who we played in the Pacific Games and lost 2-1 last November, and thought we could go out and have a real go at them. We started quite well, but conceded really early. They put us on the back foot. But if we look at the stats, and I don't look at stats much, but possession-wise, we probably had the bulk of the possession without scoring. We went down 2-0. We pushed on the last sort of 10 minutes trying to get a draw out of it to take into the next game, and got caught on the hop. But yeah, the boys did really, really well. And against Fiji, again, who I think are one of the top teams in the Pacific at the moment. They've got Rob Sherman there, who I know very well, and he's done a great job in recruiting and getting boys involved. And we were 3-0 down at half-time and said, let's go out and have a reaction. We scored straight away. And then 8 minutes of madness, we found ourselves 6-1 down. And young side as well. At that stage, we had 7 lads on the pitch under 21.
Yeah.
So we're a young side, but again, we've got to learn from it. And I said that when I got interviewed by OFC after the games. These are experiences that are free hits for us, because we're not expected to be in that top bracket. But when we can go and push and play a way that we want to play, and show that we can actually play football and not just sit in and keep the score down, that's what we want to do. So again, I'm proud of what the boys did. I think they are as well. I think they played some really good football. The last game, we lost 2-1 to PNG. We were up 1-0. Probably should have won that. To be fair, we missed a couple of really good chances later on. But again, a lot closer than what we have been in the past. So apart from the Fiji being a blowout, the other 2 games were very, very competitive.
So, and it's not a scenario where these players are playing together all the time, isn't it? Because how long do you have them for?
10 days, pretty much, before we go
prior
in.
to the tournament.
Yeah, and then we had one training session before the first game. So,
and these boys, a lot of them aren't playing in Samoa together regularly, are they?
So a lot of the boys are based in New Zealand.
Right.
Got quite a few: New Zealand, Australia, Sydney, Brisbane. There's a few from there. We had a young guy from Peru, Jarvis, who's now here with Suburbs, training to stay fit for the qualifiers. And then we had a young lad from Germany, Pharrell Trainer, who's came over he's playing in Germany at the moment.
So you all arrive and then you've got 10 days to prepare.
You do, and it is hard. Yeah. It is hard. And all you can do is try to make things as simple as and work on our systems as soon as we can. And a lot of work on the training pitch is a lot of to do with shape. Unfortunately, we don't get time to work on fitness because that's one of our biggest issues is with boys coming in at all different levels because where they're playing and local lads, and we have local lads from Samoa as well. And again, the standard's a bit different. So it's hard to get them all sort of where we need them to be. So we've talked about going forward. If I'm involved going forward as they review it after every tournament, going forward, if I was involved, then yeah, we need to keep an eye on what the boys are doing at their club stuff.
Yeah, right.
Closer eye on what they're doing and making sure that we've got relationships with their coaches and seeing what they're doing and making sure that they're coming into camp fit and with no injuries.
So where to from here? I mean, you talked about a review process and you're not guaranteed the gig, which amazes me because I would have thought you'd want the opportunity to keep in touch with the players as you're talking about and build some consistency. But if you do get that opportunity, where to from here for Samoa?
Samoa's next camp is due to start end of August, I think, they've got World Cup qualifying rounds. So they play Cook Islands and Tonga and American Samoa, and the winner out of that goes into the group with New Zealand, Vanuatu, and one other. I can't remember.
Because Oceania has
the groups have been done already for that.
So and Oceania has a direct link now to the World Cup.
1.5.
Right?
So first place goes straight in, and I think second place plays off.
Yeah.
So good opportunity, very good opportunity. As again, Samoa are going in the right direction, but again, we're a little bit behind if we're honest. The likes of Fiji, likes of Tahiti, definitely Vanuatu have improved immensely the last couple of years. So yeah, there's some tough teams there. The Solomons are up and down, but they've got great players. So it's good just to be in the mix with those sort of teams, and it's good for the players in the country as well.
Oh, good luck with that, Skippy. Hope.
Yeah, again, it's been a great opportunity. Yeah. So if it doesn't happen again, I'm very happy to have had that opportunity.
Yeah.
And sort of know what island football's about now, which it's its own puzzle in itself.
And a bit hard to compete with rugby over there, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, speaking to a few people, rugby's still the main sport there. Rugby union, rugby league, and now sevens is taken off. So it is hard for FFS to make a foothold, but they are trying, and the performances from the first team and the girls as well can only help that. So yeah, we wish them all the best.
Okay, and busy times when you've come back too, so there's been no rest.
Yeah, my wife seen me for 2 days, and then I was off to CIC with the under-15s. But great experience for the young lads again. Good tournament, and good to see FC Nelson down there as well. So.
Yeah, and
Golden Bay.
We had Golden Bay and Marlborough as well. We can't forget them because Francis over there was making sure that.
Oh, we had Marlborough first game, my 15.
Oh, did you?
Beat them 2-1. But yeah, no, it was good to see them there as well, which is awesome.
And Giza was down there during the week with.
Yeah, so we had from 10th grade up to 15s.
Wow.
Down over the 2 weeks, so it was pretty full on. No FC had 3 or 4 as well, so it's a big 3 days for the kids, to be honest. 2 games a day, it's hard work.
And I believe also, I mean, I remember when we first started going down there to that cup, the Nelson sides did very, very well, but it looks like the standard's just gone through the roof. You've got academy sides coming in.
It's the Palmerston North are the ones for me that's a big surprise. So there was an academy up there called the Red Sox, and they've sort of merged with another club in Palmerston North, and I must admit, watching their sides, they're very, very good. We've got them coming down here in October. They're bringing down a few teams to play our boys, but yeah, really impressed the way they've gone. But just the standard, especially in the 12s and 13s, I was very impressed.
Right, wow.
Very impressed.
Interesting because we, had a lot of chats about keeping up with the Joneses, and we had Phil Thompson in last week, and other opportunities for regional sides, that kind of stuff. So it's
exactly
interesting. Brings up interesting discussions.
Yeah. We talk about the old format. I thought the old format was brilliant, personally. Tasman Reps thought it was brilliant. You got boys from different clubs coming together and playing at the end of the year, which was quite good, and it gives you a sort of mix because you could do your club stuff with CIC in July, but then in September you could go and play with a few different lads that you didn't play with, and I coached a few of the Tasman Rep teams, which was good. Me and Neil took a team to Queenstown one year, which was fantastic, and they were good tournaments. But I think it's more the New Zealand football has changed that with going to club competitions.
Yeah.
And I think it will take a few clubs and stuff to get used to it and adjust to it, but hopefully it gets better, because at the moment I don't know if it's a change for the best or a change for the worst. So.
Right. Okay, we'll see what happens. And you had a local tournament as well on recently here in Nelson.
Yeah, again, with a lot of the players going to CIC, we've got a lot of teams within our club. So I came up with the idea that we would host our own in-house tournament for our age groups. So last week on the Monday, we did a 9th and 10th grade tournament. And then on the Tuesday, we did 12th grade. And then on the Wednesday, we did 14th grade.
So these are a lot of the players that don't get to go away with the ICC
more
Cup.
than that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
nice.
not in the academy, but still massive part of our club. So we have to make sure that we can do stuff for them. And it was we had referees, linesmen and everything. It was a brilliant 3 days. And all the reports back from the players, they absolutely loved it. So, yeah.
And not only that, you're straight back into the Southern League coaching.
Yeah. So we had 2 games, and within that window we had Selwyn last week, which again we weren't the greatest defensively. Going forward, we looked $1 million, and we're disappointed with the draw, and then straight into the university game this week as well, which was a lot better.
Yeah. We'll talk about that for sure. Before we carry on, a big shout out to our naming rights sponsor, Bayes Joinery, led by George Molnar and his fantastic team. Also, our venue sponsor, the Turf Hotel, Stan and the team. Check out their Facebook page for everything that's going on this weekend. In today's episode, we're going to be talking senior men and women's local premiership, the Southern League for both men and women, the latest from New Zealand football, and the Olympics are on as well, and some news that's come out about a court case that's coming up. So we'll talk about that very shortly. First of all, senior football brought to you by Sheehan Financial, KiwiSaver Insurance and Financial Planning, and women's first division. Well, unfortunately, a bit controversial by the few comments that I've seen on social media, but Nelson Bays football making the call to cancel football this weekend, a bit damp underfoot. And but then, of course, those that look forward to it on a Saturday thought that call was too cautious. And the comeback argument to that was that if we have a rest this weekend, it's better for the pitches going forward. So I believe Nelson Bays talked to all the club members.
So I'm on this group. We've got a WhatsApp group with all the presidents and some of the director of footballs. So again, I must admit, we did have quite a bit of rain prior, and again we went over the grounds on Friday morning prior, and a few of them were okay. We're 50-50. There was 2 of them which, if you would have played on it, then you may as well wipe them out for the rest of the season, to be honest. So again, I think we've been lucky this year. I think we've only called off, is that the second or the first? Seniors.
It's the first one I can remember.
I think it is, where you look at Christchurch, they've had 5 weeks off. Right. So I think, again, I know people will be upset that Saturday's good. You get to go play football, catch up for the boys for a beer, the girls for a beer after a wine. But I think it was the right call long term. I think we've got to be cautious as well. As a club, we've got the girls' secondary schools here in September, which is a 5-day tournament, 34 teams. So anything we can do to help the pitches and make sure that they're in good condition for that as well, but plus our club, then we have to do it. So some people are unhappy about it, but personally, I think it was the right call.
There we go. And we talked about the AstroTurf. We need AstroTurf. So I'm sorry to say it would help, even, with catch-up games under lights during the week. But Steve Mitchell was involved in Sport Tasman. He got the Moochary complex underway, and also was involved in the Saxton hockey and softball facilities, and the ability for hockey to play anytime during the week, right up to 10 o'clock at night, under lights, all weathers. It just makes sense. But anyway, we'll leave that for a future debate. So unfortunately, results wise, don't have a lot. In fact, nothing.
None.
And also with the draw, we don't we only have one catch-up game, and then this weekend it's a knockout cup. So let's talk about, first of all, catch-up game. Motueka Angels taking on the Spriggan Fern Tahuna Breakers. And Motueka, they had their second win of the season against the Diamonds. But the Breakers are going to be pretty strong.
Yeah, big fan of the Breakers. I've said it all year. They've improved. And I think, that'll be a Breakers win, I would say.
And then we go to the knockout cup. And
Derby.
It's the derby. It's actually a derby. You've caused every guest we come in now bringing up derbies. So you've You've caused all sorts of debate, Skippy.
Yeah.
But anyway, the Nelson Suburbs FC Swans, who've struggled the last couple of games, I would imagine that's to do with school holidays.
School holidays is a big one for them. Yeah.
Against the reserves, and that's at Saxon Field. So,
Yeah.
and how are you going to call this one? Because not only a part of the club, but you've got to be friends with both.
It's a tough one. I'm going penalties. It's going to penalties, extra time penalties.
Talk about trying to get out of it. All right. Well,
just on that as well, what will probably aid the SPL girls, the reserves a little bit, is the SPL girls are at home.
Yeah,
So
true.
girls that are on the bench that have played enough games to qualify for the cup will probably help out the girls after. So yeah, it'll be a tough game, but a good game. So yeah, looking forward to it.
And here's another good game. Although we had Michaela on a couple of weeks ago, and she was nervous about after John Slotmaker leaving and a whole new setup, new management team and everything. And
going well.
She's taken over the reins, but boy, they're still doing well, the Foxes.
Yeah.
They're taking on the Mapua Cougars. It's at Jubilee Park. Mapua have been up and down, but they've had some good wins. So be an interesting match there at Jubilee. You calling it?
Foxes don't lose at Jubilee. Yeah, no chance. Yeah, it's a Foxes win.
Don't even question it.
No.
Just a reminder, the Foxes sitting on top on 37. The reserves on 22 and only 1 point behind there, the Breakers. So it's very, very close indeed. Nelson Pine Senior Men's First Division, and the same thing. Unfortunately, it got rained out. So we haven't got any results there, but for a catch-up game coming up, we've got FC Nelson First 11 taking on Motueka at Guppy Park, because both out of the cup. But an opportunity to actually get some football in, and a chance to get that catch-up game underway.
Played. Yeah.
So FC Nelson needs the 3 points, don't they?
Yep. It's heading towards Blenheim at the moment, I think.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So they've had the draws with our team, and then the FC drawing with our boys as well has sort of opened it up a little bit for them. And
then Karini beating
Suburbs.
Reserve.
Yeah. So
they've actually leaped ahead of the table. And they do have, I think it's 2 games.
I think it's 2. Yeah.
But one of them is against Karini.
Yeah.
And I think the other one's against Rangers.
It's against Blenheim. It is at home. So it's an interesting one.
Yeah.
You know what? And I spoke to Brady about this a few weeks ago. It's actually good to see that league competitive again.
Yeah.
And 3 or 4 teams in the hunt. Because again, we've been a bit off the pace with it as a club the last couple of years, just with the reserves, but it's good to see the boys up there and playing well. And as I said to Dave, Dave's disappointed. They've only lost 1 game this year, our young lads. So you know what I mean. That's how tight it is. So no, it's good. It's good for the local football. And Karini could sneak into second.
Well, you see, they were going to travel over to Blenheim this weekend.
Yeah.
So they could be the thorn in Rangers' side because obviously they've been playing all year, but to have that result against Reserve, they're obviously starting to build nicely there.
They've just got the pace is frightening.
Yeah,
like they can hurt you. Like watching them, I've watched them a couple of times now. I speak to Lebu quite a bit. Got some really good young players in there that again can really hurt you with their pace, and they're tricky, and they don't lack ambition from shooting as well. They shoot from anywhere, shoot on sight, and that'll be a tough game for Blenheim. It won't be easy.
No, that's right. It's the Cup rounds, Price Charity Cup on this weekend, and Rangers actually taking on SC Nelson.
Yeah, it'll be a game.
Which would have been a league game, but this is going to be a cup game at Athletic Park. So that'll be a good tester for Karini to see how close they are to Rangers.
Yeah, 100%. Is that the semi-finals? Golden Bay, Richmond, and Blenheim FC Nelson?
Well, that's what was on the draw. Yeah.
All right, okay. Didn't know that.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I picked up off the draw. So unless I've cut and pasted that wrong, I'm sure I'll be corrected. But that was going to be the draw this weekend gone. Karini taking on Rangers. So it's going to be a real tester. And then, Richmond and Golden Bay Mountain Goats, because I believe there was a couple of upsets in the cup rounds.
Right, okay.
No, the Goats beat Reserves, I'm pretty sure. In the cup rounds.
Yeah, we went out to them on. 2-1. Yeah.
So I don't know what happened with Richmond, whether who they played, but
Sweet.
So there you go. The updated standings, we've got Rangers on top on 27, only 2 points behind are Reserves. Must say Rangers have got a game in hand. And yeah, there we go. Karini and the first 11, FC first 11 on 21 each with 2 games in hand. Going to be very, very interesting.
Very tight.
Southern League women, the results from last weekend, and Otago University 1-1 with Roslyn Wakari. We had Coastal Spirit 2-1 over Kashmir Tech. Good win for Coastal there. And Dunedin City Royals only 2-1 over Nelson Suburbs. So we thought that would be a really tough game for them going all the way down to Dunedin after travelling the weekend before as well. But 2-1, that's not too bad a score. I mean, Geezer's obviously going to be disappointed with the loss, but
yeah, I spoke to the girls. Some of the girls are really, really positive after that performance. I think they were in the game right to the end. The Royals are a good side, very good side. They're probably one of the top teams in that league. And yeah, for the girls to go down there, which they've been absolutely stitched up with a draw, by the way, 3 away games in Dunedin, shocking. But for them to go down there, it's a long day. I know it's a 14-hour day there and back. So that's a great effort from them, and they've done themselves proud. And yeah, they'll take momentum into this Saturday and hopefully get a good win against Otago Unis.
So let's look at the draw for this weekend. Roslyn Wakari taking on Coastal Spirit. What's your call there?
Coastal Spirit have found a bit of form again.
Haven't they?
Yeah, I know Kelly Jarnan. Kelly used to play for Canterbury Pride. I think she was involved in New Zealand at a stage as well. She's came in as coach, and I think she's brought a bit of a spark with her. And I think the girls have sort of went, do you know what, we can jump on board with that. And they've got behind her as coach, and yeah, that's a great win. That's a great win. So I think they'll be hard to beat now the rest of the season after winning that.
Kashmir Tech taking on Dunedin City Royals. That's a big game.
It's a banger.
Dunedin City sitting on top at the moment.
Yeah, so yeah, they'll be hoping that win could stitch up the league for them, to be fair, and sew it up, and they could be done. But top side, shout out to Hannah Mackay-Wright, who's from Nelson, who plays for the Royals. So she's been playing for them for the last 3 or 4 seasons. So yeah, we wish her all the best. And Anna McPhee as well, who's at Cash Tech, who's an ex-Suburbs player as well. So we wish her all the best as well in that game.
Nelson Suburbs taking Otago University at Saxon's Field. And do you think potentially Geezer might be thinking, we've had a tough couple of weeks, but brings the team closer together, especially when you travel, chance to play on your home pitch, and this could be a good opportunity?
Yeah, I think the girls will be up for this one. Yeah, I do. I think they've had it tough the last couple of weeks with the travel. I think a game at home in front of their fit parents and the fans, I think we'll go out to win that, and I think the girls should do. And I think Geezer will be positive that the girls can get the job done.
12:30 on Saturday.
Yes.
At Saxon Field. So make sure you get down there. Dunedin City Royals on top on 12, Kashmir Tech on 9, and Coastal Spirit equally on 9. So it's very tight at the top there. Southern League men and the results from last week. Dunedin City Royals going down 3-1 to Christchurch United. So Christchurch United bouncing back there because that wouldn't have been an easy game. FC Nelson, Ferrymead Bays 4-1. They went down to Ferrymead Bays. So
they're 1-0 up. FC 2011. Yeah, they were 1-0 at half time. It was 1-0 at half time. So they've got all 4 goals in the second half.
Well, it's funny because they had a bit of a bounce back after their coach and some players left.
And they got some new guys.
Then they got hammered for a couple of games. But the last couple of results actually haven't been too bad.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they've had to sort a few things out.
Yeah, but to be 1-0 up, they'll be very disappointed that they haven't stayed in that game longer, because they, by all accounts, they must have played well in the first half to keep Bays scoreless. So yeah, tough one for them. They've had a tough season.
Kashmir Tech, finding some form at this time of the season, and 8-0 against Selwyn.
Yeah, I think that was 1-0 at halftime.
Was it?
I think I'm nearly positive. You can correct me on that, Cash Tech fans, but I'm nearly sure it was 1-0. And yeah, Tech know how to win games. They always have done. Remember, they're doing that without 3 of their best players who are back. Of course, they're back for us next week. But again, they'll only add strength, and they'll try to get a bit of momentum now. And because the league's not sewing up, they've still got Christchurch United and Coastal Spirit breathing down their necks. So yeah, they'll be looking to hit form now.
We'll jump to Coastal Spirit 2-0 over Nomad. So their form continues. And then 5-1 against University of Canterbury. You'd be happy with that result because they're not a slouch team, universities, are they?
Yeah, again, I spoke to you earlier before we came on. Our problem's not scoring goals. We've scored 9 in 2 games. For us against Selwyn last week, we played brilliant going forward and defended like high school boys
Right.
and got punished for it. So we worked on all week about being a lot surer in defence and defending better. Again, the one goal we conceded, we're not happy with because we fell asleep after scoring a goal. So that's something we need to improve. But we were a lot better defensively than we were against Selwyn. So, and the boys Lennon and Trayvon Myers are flying up front at the moment, and they're both on 11 now for the season.
Right.
So since we've moved Trayvon further forward and playing up front with Lennon, they've sort of struck up a bit of a partnership, and yeah, they look really good. So yeah, and just Noah Platt's last game at the club, he's off to America next week. So it was brilliant to get him on the pitch and get him 90 minutes, and then last 20 minutes with the armband on his arm. So
nice.
It was good.
Nice.
A good send off. We wish him all the best. And we do have a few other. Liam Goodger, who's been at the club since he was a young lad, he leaves for America as well.
Oh wow.
So yeah, we've got a few boys going. So it's good. Jasmine Barney from the women's team, she leaves as well. So yeah, good good experience for them.
So I know we spoke to Jasmine, and she's got a scholarship with one of the colleges.
Yep.
The other two boys, are they?
Yeah. So Noah's going very close to where Jasmine is. It's about 45 minutes. And Liam's going to Missouri.
Oh right.
So yeah, he's off. Yeah.
Just in time for the elections.
Oh, God, yeah. Good luck, fellas. Stay out of that, boys.
Keep your head down.
Yeah.
Keep your head down.
Yeah.
All right. So this weekend there's a bit of a rest. Is that Chatham Cup?
Chatham Cup, yes. Yeah, so
right.
just on that, in our league, I think the only team playing is Coastal Spirit. Yeah, Coastal Spirit are playing Hibiscus Coast.
Oh, right.
Away. So
right,
that'll be an interesting trip. Lovely down the coast up there. So we wish Coastal all the best. They're from our region. So hopefully, they can put in a good performance and make it into the semis, which would be awesome.
Yeah. Kashmir Tech sitting on top, only just 1 point, Coastal Spirit, and then only 3 points behind Christchurch United. So the top two, it's getting very, very close for that. And of course, you'll be hoping for some tip ups along the way.
Yeah, it's a hard one because we look at the points we've dropped. 2 points against Selwyn, we've drew 2 points against Coastal, where we were through 2-1 up and they just allowed a goal. That's 4 points. And then we lost the Nomads. So we've dropped points there. So it is hard, but that's the points don't lie. That's where we deserve to be.
That's what PB always says. The table never lies.
And that's where we're at. And but we'll keep going and try. We've said to the boys, since we won the Southern League in the old format, our highest points total has been 33. We came third. That was 2 seasons ago.
Right.
So that has to be our ambition.
Yeah.
We said we didn't want to lose in the second round. We haven't yet. So we'll set little goals for ourselves to make sure that, we keep pushing right to the last game. So,
so rest this weekend, and then next weekend.
Take away.
Can't
wait.
Look at easier.
Yeah, but that's it. That's why we're in the league to play the big ones. And we've gone down there and won before.
Yeah.
So, boys have been playing well and training well. So we'll go in there with a lot of confidence. Yeah.
Overseas news, and I don't know if you've picked up on this, Skippy, but the top European leagues, including the Premier League and Global Players Union, 5th Pro they call, 5 Pro it could be, will launch legal action against the world governing body FIFA over its abuse of dominance in the game. The European leagues, which represents 39 clubs, that's 1,100 clubs. 39 leagues, 1,100 clubs in 33 countries, says it's filing a complaint in the European Commission to protect the welfare of players. It comes following growing pressure from leagues and player unions, including the Professional Football Association, over the number of games added to the calendar and the impact on players. And if I think about it, Premier League, then you're off to the Euros, and then pretty much you're into pre-season.
Yeah, it's all those silly friendlies as well, though, that FIFA put in.
As well.
These friendlies that they play, which, I don't know. I can see where it comes from. And then now the World Cup's been made bigger. So it's longer. There's more teams. And then the European Champions League is now changed. So you're guaranteed 7 games. It's a lot. It is a lot.
FIFPro's statement said the international calendar is now beyond saturation, unsustainable for national leagues, and a risk for the health of players.
Yeah, I think it
overburdened.
Yeah, I think the foreign coaches that came into the Premier League have said it for years, because again in Germany and Spain they have a break. I know Scotland do it now as well. So it's got to get to a stage where we've got to look after them a little bit, don't we? I know we pay them very, very well, but
well, part of it too is the clubs must be thinking, well, with international football and other types of football going on, the fans always want to see the best players, and if you only see that best player 6 games of the year or whatever.
Yeah.
So the leagues might be saying to themselves, well, we want our best players available at all times.
Yeah.
But also there is that thing where potentially, and it does happen in other sports, where by the time you're 2021, you're worn out.
Yeah.
You're done.
And that's what it's like. You got World Cup qualifiers, but then in between the World Cup qualifiers, they put in international friendlies. Why? The Nations Cup, they pulled that one out of the sky. That was, let's just make a cup. Yeah, that came into it. Yeah, I don't know. It was funny. I watched a podcast with Sam Allardyce, and he just said about the leagues and how many games. He says, if you were honest, was the Euros actually that good to watch?
Well, I enjoyed it for the football, but
what he said were the players that you wanted to see at their best, and it was an interesting. He was chatting to Kevin Nolan, who used to work with him at West Ham, and it was an interesting conversation they were having because Harry Kane looked burned out.
He did,
yeah, and they were just talking about certain players in certain teams. Mbappe, nowhere near his best.
No, that's right.
And they were just saying, is this what we're going to get? They're going to get these big leagues. We're going to come to the World Cup, and we're not going to get the best version of that person because they've played 67 games prior to getting there. So I can see where a lot of that's coming from. And yeah, it's interesting just to listen to them and see what they think. And yeah, because they were focusing on England a little bit, and Kane was the big one. Yeah, because he just looked burnt out.
But my perception was just age catching up with them. But
yeah.
But it could have been fatigue. You're
quite
right.
You just don't know. And a lot of the clubs now, you think of your Man United and your Man Cities, and you're investing £50 million in a player, and you send him for a friendly, he plays for France, and he's going to play Faroe Islands in a friendly, and he does his ACL, and you just lost 50 million because he played on an artificial pitch in the Faroe Islands. So you can see where it's coming from.
Well, how's that? 39 leagues. 1,100 clubs from 33 countries. FIFA must be going. Yeah,
you wouldn't want to be the filing assistant in that case, would you?
There's
a lot of files to go through.
Can you sort these out, please? Just give me a summary after you've read it all.
God.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so watch this space, and we've just finished the Euros. Now the Olympics.
Unbelievable.
It just gets better.
Yeah, New Zealand play tomorrow.
They do. So I managed to do a little bit of research.
Yeah.
And Thursday, 25th. 3:00 our time. So this is our time. The men's group A, Guinea versus New Zealand. No idea about Guinea.
They'll be athletic and stay physical. Yeah. But again,
so that's going to be interesting. So now remind me, it's 123, but there are 3 exceptions.
I think you're allowed 3. Yeah, I think there's 3 allowed. And I think, because I remember when England played in it that one year, they entered the Olympics. It was the London Olympics. They had Daniel Sturridge was their overage player, and then I think Beckham. No, it wasn't Beckham. Yeah, Beckham might have played. Someone played. I can't remember.
Does that mean Messi gets to play with Argentina in the Olympics?
He probably could, but he won't. Yeah, he won't. He's back in Miami sunning himself, and he's injured.
You would have thought, go and get yourself an Olympic gold medal. That might have
something. Thing he doesn't have.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, so Friday 26th, women's Group A, Canada versus New Zealand. That'll be a tough game.
Yeah, Canada, a good side. Yeah.
Sunday 28th in the men's Group A, New Zealand versus United States. Geez, that's going to be a tough game too, isn't it?
And that's the England coach. Was that the men's or the women's?
That's the men's.
Oh yeah, because I know the old Chelsea women's coach is the new USA women's coach.
Yes,
so
right.
It'd be interesting to see how she goes first tournament. But
True.
in the men's, the US are flying at the moment.
And on Monday 29th in the women's, New Zealand versus Colombia. So that does.
We haven't got an easy group, do we? I haven't actually seen the groups.
You never know. Guinea might turn it on. They might just be pinging it all over the place.
They'll be a good team, Guinea. I think they will be. Yeah. They'll be a surprise.
So there you go. So all to look forward to for that. So, and we're really, we seem to have covered so much already, and yet. Really, we're probably only about just over halfway through the season. Yeah, so there's still a lot of football to go.
A lot. Again, I think we've got 7 rounds left in our league. So yeah, in the local league, I know it starts to finish up, but then there's cup competitions, and I think what Mainland have done, Nelson-based football, Mainland have done little pools for friendlies to see out the weeks.
Right. Yeah.
So people can keep active and keep playing.
Yeah.
I know some people aren't happy with friendlies, but at the end of the day, it's a game of football, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and you can see the reaction from this weekend. People just want to get out.
I just want to play. So take it what it is. It's another game, another time to play football and run around and enjoy yourself. So yeah, the more games you can play, the better.
Yeah. All right. So what's the weekend for you then?
Oh yeah,
Do
I've
you?
got my son's fifth year. I've got a 5-year-old birthday party on Saturday. I'm looking forward to that. So
Jeez.
my youngest turned 5 last week and started school this week.
Talk
So
about challenges.
oh yeah, so I've got them. I missed the semi-final for the Seals, the old
Oh.
Seals of Division 3 boys. They play Mapua, a tough game. So I missed that, unfortunately. So good luck to the boys for that. Yeah, pretty relaxed weekend for me,
Oh, jeez.
which is good.
Take it while you've got the chance.
Which is good. Yeah, definitely. So looking forward to it.
Thanks very much, Skippy, for coming in. That's it for this week's episode. Thanks to our venue sponsor, the Turf Hotel. Very special thanks to George Molnar and the team at Bayes Joinery. You can catch this podcast on MBS Talk Nelson, on our social media channels, Facebook and Instagram, and on Spotify under MBS Talk Nelson. We'll see you again next week on Bayes Joinery Football Focus.
Talk Nelson Radio. It's the Talk of Nelson.